Good morning, all. Welcome to Announcements with Kathy Gray, or at least a representation of her. If you're with us on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to get notifications when we have new videos. If you're with us on Zoom, drop us a hi in the chat. We'd love to say hello back. If you're with us in person, hello everybody here. Go ahead and sign the guest book either in the lobby or at oakcliffuu.org/guests. Renée Brill returns with today's sermon, One Right Way and Paternalism as Characteristics of White Supremacy Culture. If you would like to help us on our path to becoming an anti-racist church, please consider joining our Widening the Circle of Concern work group every Monday at 3 p.m. on Zoom. And if you are white identifying, our accountability group meets on campus and on Zoom on the first and third Sunday at 12:15. Want to know more about everything going on? Make sure you're receiving our weekly e-blast. So in one email, you'll get a review of the past week and information on upcoming events such as our almost weekly Teamwork Tuesdays. On every Tuesday, except the fourth Tuesday of the month, we gather from 4 to 6 o'clock to help keep our campus looking good. It's community building on several levels. We invite you to stick around after the service today. At 11:15, we have Talk Back, where we gather and talk about the sermon and related topics. Folks always get something out of it, whether they come to talk or just listen. We also have Adult Religious Exploration, also at 11:15, with Sarah Rickey in the Charity Building, in person and on Zoom. Please note that next Sunday is Easter, and we will be doing something special for all ages. So dust off your Easter bonnet, and if you don't have one, we can provide. Hope to see you then. Have a great Sunday.
Welcome to the UU Church of Oak Cliff. Here we gather in sanctuary where we're free to pursue our own unique and individual spiritual journeys in an atmosphere of acceptance, compassion, and celebration. We seek to build a community where what you believe is less important than how your beliefs guide and inform your participation in the world. Ours is a community that values the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. We welcome you. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, Spirit of love, compassion, and forgiveness. Que esta luz que ahora encendemos nos inspire a usar nuestros dones y poderes para sanar y no para herir, para ayudar y no para impedir, para bendecir y no para maldecir, para servirte a ti, espíritu de amor, compasión y perdón.
These opening words are by Ma Teresa Tet Gustillo Gallardo. Sorry, I know I mispronounced her name. Let us reach the place of self, the place that is not alien to truth. Let us wash over with peace and serenity, with fierce longing for light and heart, with living strength flowing in our veins, bringing ourselves into fearlessness and into trust.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
In our community, we make time each week to share pieces of our lives with one another, our joys and sorrows. We do this because each person in this community has value. Each person's experience matters. We share our sorrows with one another today, knowing that sorrow comes into each person's life, knowing that together we offer comfort. Please share your sorrows publicly by posting them in the Zoom chat, or send them to our Facebook Messenger, or speak them aloud.
When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love.
We also share our joys with one another, knowing that joy comes into all of our lives, knowing that joy calls unto joy, knowing that together our voices can rise in a chorus of celebration. Please share your joys publicly by posting them in the Zoom chat, or send them to our Facebook Messenger, or if you're in sanctuary here, you can speak them aloud. Ours is a covenantal church, Latin for come together. Covenant means a solemn agreement or promise from the heart regarding a course of action between parties. The practice of promising to walk together is the core of our faith. We are bound together by the promises we make to one another, and we recite our covenant during every worship service. Please rise in body or spirit as we recite our covenant.
Because we love one another. Because we love one another, we honor each individual's spiritual journey. Because we love one another, we celebrate life's abundance in service to each other, our community, and the world. Because we love one another, we connect with each other in love, respect, and acceptance. Thus do we covenant together. ¿Por qué nos amamos una al otro? Honoramos el viaje espiritual de cada individuo. ¿Por qué nos amamos una al otro? Celebramos la abundancia de la vida en el servicio a entre sí, nuestra comunidad y el mundo. ¿Por qué nos amamos una al otro? Ponemos en contacto a unos con otros en el amor, respeto y excepción. Así que hacemos pacto. Thank you. Be seated, please.
Good morning. I'd like you to take a moment to close your eyes and take a deep breath and breathe out. And breathe in and out. And in and out. And if there's anything that you are currently holding on to or worrying about, be it your to-do list, or where you're going from here, take a moment and acknowledge that. And then set it down. It'll be here for you when you get back. But let's take a moment to be in this place together today. And when you're ready, take another deep breath. And return to this place where we are together. Good morning. This week, we are continuing to talk about Tema Okun's White Supremacy Culture, Still Here Now, her article. This week, we're talking about one right way and paternalism, which often end up going hand in hand. Now, I've been thinking about how to do this service because I can imagine that some of you are thinking to yourselves that, Renee, you're the one who thinks there's one right way to do this white supremacy culture thing, right? Why is it that I am so persistent in pursuing the widening the circle of concern work when one right way is a part of white supremacy culture? And let's talk about that a little bit today. But a lot of that has to do with power dynamics. So let's see what Tema Okun has to say. One right way shows up as the belief that there's one right way to do things. And once people are introduced to that right way, they'll see the light and adopt it. When a person or group does not adapt or change to fit that one right way, then those defining or upholding the one right way assume that something is wrong with the other, those not changing, not with us. And similarly to a missionary who sees only the value of their own beliefs and about what is good rather than acknowledging the value in the culture of communities they are determined to convert to the right way of thinking and or living. So let's talk a little bit about how one right way shows up in Unitarian Universalism. And I think that the way that we're going to start with that is actually by learning about paternalism, because when we're talking about power dynamics, what we're talking about is who gets to decide what that one right way is. And I can just tell this sermon is going to be full of all of the Freudian slips, and it seems appropriate. So let's talk a little bit about paternalism. Paternalism is when those holding power, control, and decision-making define the things, such as standards, perfections, and what that one right way is. Those who are holding power assume that they're qualified and entitled to define the standards as one right way, as well as to make decisions for and in the interests of those who do not have power. And those who are holding power often don't think it is important or necessary to understand the viewpoint or experience of those for whom they are making decisions, often labeling those for whom they are making decisions as unqualified, either intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, or physically. And there's a couple of more things that Tema Okun has to do about paternalism, but I feel like this is a juicy enough thing for us to sink our teeth into so far. So we know that there's lots of different isms. There's racism, classism, ableism, ageism, genderism, patriarchy. And when we're talking about power and paternalism, normally it's the group that is the preferred category of those that is the one that gets to make the decisions. So what is the group that is seen as the default or is holding the most power? In Unitarian Universalism, this group has been white, upper middle class people, normally with a college education, might be atheistic or humanistic, but by and large, about since the 1970s, most of the power, including elected officials, who's controlling the purse strings, who is determining policy, has been white, upper middle class baby boomers, for lack of a better term. And we see that reflected in who is in our congregations. And that is not incidental or happenstance. One of the things that Widening the Circle of Concern talks about is that part of what is preventing people from joining us is this kind of power hoarding or paternalism, where the people who are in leadership now think that they know how to solve our problems, they know how to attract younger people, they know how to attract people of color, that they know what the issue is and that they have the right steps to address that. And so in Unitarian Universalism, I would say that what is our one right way to do things is that historically we talk about all of the things we have in common and what unites us and our shared values. And we tend to steer clear of talking about our differences or our disagreements. We tend to sidestep those issues and focus on only the things that we can agree on together in our services, or the things that unite us as a people. Now, there's a couple of things in this. It leaves us with a couple of vulnerabilities. One is it subconsciously sends this message that difference is inherently bad. By avoiding it, we're not showing it value. We're not holding it up as something of worth in our worship. We're also denying ourselves the opportunity to learn and grow from other perspectives. And we're shutting out the life experiences, wisdom, and teachings of the people who are not currently in control. Because as much as we want to talk about everything that unifies us, the things that make us different and the things that we have conflict over can also be beautiful and learning experiences for us to grow. So one of the reasons why I am so passionate about the widening the circle of concern work is because I think that it has this antidote to paternalism. Now, I'm not the person who made widening the circle of concern. I didn't do the research. I didn't write the opinions or give the advice. I'm choosing this advice because it's written by people of color who are Unitarian Universalists. People of color who are telling us what is in their way from being wholly a part of us and what we can do to address that. So it's not that I think it's my way or the highway, it's that I'm listening to the advice of the people who are experiencing the most harm right now. It's not that it's the right way, it's that it's the way that is determined by the people who have been historically left out. And frankly, we've been trying that right way for quite a long time now, and it doesn't seem to be getting us anywhere. Now, I'd like you to take a couple of moments this week and think about ways that really can liberate us. There's this worry and anxiety that I had before I understood this definition of paternalism and this way of following leadership followed by following. The problems of the world were really stressful and anxious and overwhelming. Like, how was I going to solve all of those problems? And the answer is that I'm not going to solve all of those problems. I don't have the solution to everything, but there are a lot of other people who have the solutions and are really just looking for somebody to join the cause and give a hand. That is something I can do. What are the things that you can do to help people the way they ask you to help them? What are some of the ways that you might have helped people in ways that they didn't ask you to help them? Remember that it is not just being together. It is not just sharing space that is our goal. It is also sharing power. And with that sharing of power, we empower one another to find and make and build the solutions that will bring us to that beautiful, beloved community that we dream about. So, I hope you have a beautiful week this week. I hope you take some time to think about who you want to follow, who has some bright ideas to solve their own problems that could really use a hand. And to come back next week and join us for Easter while we celebrate this growing newness on our journey together. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be.
Join me in reciting the Widening the Circle of Concern Covenant. We, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Oak Cliff, commit ourselves to the study and dismantling of racism and oppression within our congregation. We commit our congregation and ourselves to the work of anti-racism and anti-oppression. We commit ourselves to listening, to learning, and to action. When we fail, we commit ourselves to trying again and again. We covenant to begin this work and to continue until all of us can truly say that we are a beloved community of justice, equity, and compassion. Thank you.
Hi, I'm filling in for Sherry this morning with the widening moment. I hope I do it justice. There is More Love Somewhere by Glenn Thomas Rideout. Dr. Rideout's words. Last summer at General Assembly, I walked out of the sanctuary we had made from the convention center space. As tired as I was, I returned more and more to my deeply introverted default of self, and I passed a woman who had to stop to talk with me. Many religious professionals who have led a morning worship service know this is where the work begins. She walked up to me and said, "Dr. Rideout." Because she had enough grace to remind me of my title, she gave me the opportunity to resume my church face and posture. She held my hands as if we had known each other for the longest time. She looked into my eyes and said, "You know what? I always sing that song, 'There is more love right here.' There is more love right here. I'm gonna keep on 'cause I found it. There is more love right here." I don't understand why it is that we don't sing that here at GA. We've already found a community of love. And because she had enough compassion and grace to call me Dr. Rideout, she had given me enough time and opportunity to summon up a bit of stillness from the weary remnants of my churchman's posture. She looked into my eyes and spoke and sang to me with her own truth. She asked with genuine curiosity why it is that we don't all sing the words that she had come to know. I was compelled to respond to the woman I had just met with, "Thank you for trusting me with that question." And then I explained to her why I thought it was necessary, particularly with the music of people of color, that we enter and examine these songs with more curiosity than colonization. I thanked her, and I explained that for those of us who live with the privilege of knowing love, it can be difficult to understand the perspective of one who lives without such a privilege. I explained that it can be difficult to understand the lived experience of those who have trouble finding the evidence of love in their immediate vicinity, in their church, in their neighborhood, in their city, in their nation, even in the planet. I thanked her and explained that for some who don't share the privilege of perceiving love right here, moving toward that idea of privilege had become a vital practice of Black faith. I offered that if we, as a spiritual community of Unitarian Universalists, populated by well-meaning people, are to mean anything to the lives and the deaths of people of color, we must begin by learning, not squelching, the forms of expression that arise from these living perspectives. And she said, "Thank you. I've never heard it expressed that way. I've never understood it that way. And I will never sing it that same way again." When we inhabit the music, the forms of expression of people who have lived their lives along the margins of notice, we must notice that we have entered holy ground, a sacred space of learning, a sacred space of relationship.
Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place that is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. If you are contributing cash toward your pledge, please use the envelope provided and write your name on it. To text your donation, see the number on your order of service. And for more options, see oakcliff.org. uu.org/donate.
Receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. De ti yo recibo, a ti te doy, así compartimos y vivimos hoy. Receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. De ti yo recibo, a ti te doy, así compartimos y vivimos hoy.
Our closing words today are by Frederick Gillis. May the love that overcomes all differences, that heals all wounds, that puts to flight the fears, that reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us, now and always. Amen.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Extinguimos esta llama para no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez.